Well, that one made it 31-13. Redskins made it a game, and then, yeah, why not?
So who gets fined right here?
I don't know, but I hope everyone goes on and donates to the Salvation Army. Cowboy fans, you are celebrating right now.
Did I dry snitch?
What we didn't see there
Zeke
was
didn't get
Dak
fined
dropped
last
$4 in.
Nice. There you go.
No
Yeah,
fine.
4 singles, a roll of quarters, you know.
Would have been a much more expensive donation for Amari. Oh, no, it wouldn't have been for Amari Cooper because he changed his number, so he's good now. I was still thinking of the Raiders number.
Dallas is 6-5. Washington drops back to 6-5 by virtue of the division record tiebreaker. Dallas is in first place. What do we make of this division? What do we make of the new first place team?
Well, we talked about it. It's about inconsistency. The division hasn't been consistent in I don't know how many years.
Since 2001.
03-04, I believe. And when you look at these teams, you got to peak at some point. You got to play a certain style to win. Nobody in the division is playing great except for the Dallas Cowboys.
They've won
in the last
3 in a row.
weeks.
Dallas,
the
3 in a
last
row.
3 weeks. And this is the time to peak and play better.
Right, and I tweeted out a while ago, the formula, you have to give Zeke the ball at least 20 to 25 times, catching the ball or running it. And when they feed him the ball, he's right in that category with Todd Gurley, with Melvin Gordon, or Kamara. Just give him the football. That's your best player.
You know what has been a consistent theme in this win streak is Amari Cooper, right? Like, he joined the team. They lost that first game to the Titans. And then
Dak's stats have all gone up since then.
He's accounted for now, you know?
He is accounted for, but if you really pick apart this offense and what they've been doing, it's the volume of Zeke who opens up the one-on-ones outside.
Yep.
He had 31 touches today. He had 55 before that in the last 2 games. Over 400, close to 500-something scrimmage yards. So he's opening up and making him put another guy in the box. You get the one-on-one on the back end. Give these receivers some credit. They have been winning the one-on-one matchups. Dak, up and down a little bit, but he did make some big throws, some key throws today. He's been better. And when you have that, it makes for a better offense and better production.
Totally, Zeke opens it up, but you got to have the guys there who can make the plays, and they didn't necessarily have that earlier in the season. How much does Amari Cooper change their ability to potentially make a run late in the season? And as Scott said, they're the number 1 team in the NFC East right now, so if the playoffs started today, they're there. Can they do anything?
Well, as long as the defense continue to play as well, too, it's going to help. They've been doing a great job in the back end, and then Marcus Lawrence getting after the quarterback, he's been just incredible right there. So,
and what I see from Coop today, now you know you got to roll coverage to Cooper. You got to double team him.
Right.
That's going to free up for Gallup. That's going to free up for Beasley, and that's going to free up for Zeke out of the backfield. So when you got a guy like that making plays, and he has those explosive 90-yard, 40-yard touchdowns, one-on-one, a coach is going to come in and say, guess what? We got to either push coverage or put somebody over the top, which will open up things for, like you mentioned, for the other guys to make plays.
And the way the defense is playing, they don't need to go out and score 35 necessarily.
Right.
The guys, the defense for the Cowboys like to call themselves the Hot Boys. They are a top 5 scoring defense. Are they for real, Willie?
They are for real. They've been consistent. They've been pretty much, outside of these past 3 weeks, they've been the most consistent part or component of that team for the entire season. So now that they got some offensive plays, that they're scoring points, that they got consecutive drives, this definitely helps out a defense that is fast, that can run, got young guys on the back end. Chris Richard, the secondary coach, is doing a great job of mixing in blitzes and things to put pressure. And also their one-on-one coverage has been better.
Yeah. For those of you just joining us right now, thanks for flipping over to NFL Total Access. We are live rolling through some analysis of the Cowboys' win over the Redskins, which puts Dallas into the first place slot in the NFC East here now after the Thanksgiving holiday. By the way, the coaches and the quarterbacks are going to be going to the podium any second now. You'll hear that live when they give their post-game comments right here on NFL Network.
Redskins take the loss, but as you see at the bottom of your screen, they have the same record as the Cowboys, so they are still in this race in the NFC East, but they're not going to have Alex Smith moving forward, so they're going to ride with Colt McCoy. What do you see in their future? What's that face?
Oh, that was a grimace.
Because I'm so nervous.
No dessert for you?
Indigestion.
Because I'm so nervous, man. I love Colt, man, and he's a great teammate, a great friend. I'm sorry, but Cowboys might win this division, man. They're just playing so good right now, and like we mentioned earlier, they have the form, they have the playmaking running back, they have the playmaking receiver that they need, and it opens it up for everyone else. And Dak is getting way more comfortable. It helps to have somebody like Amari Cooper where you can throw him a slant, he'll take it 90 yards. And how comfortable is that?
And I like Colt as well, and I think he's pretty good in the passing game. I like his accuracy, but he's not Alex Smith. He threw 3 interceptions today. That's going to turn into points. That's going to hurt you. The offensive line is getting a little bit better. We saw Trent Williams out there, but they are banged up. The running game has demised over the last few weeks. They're not running the ball as effective. This defense that, we watched today is not the same defense that it has been throughout the year. They gave up big plays. They didn't tackle well, bad fundamentals, and they were used to playing well in the red zone and getting after the quarterback. They did that. But they didn't do it enough. And you give up big plays, you can get sacked a few times, but if you give up a 90-yard and a 40-yard touchdown and you let Zeke run all over the place, that's not a mix for winning.
Next 2 games for them, Philly and New York, the Giants. They've got 2 divisional games coming up. Yeah. Are those 2 wins that this team that you saw today can beat?
Philly's trying to get back into the mix. They don't know what's going on with them.
Yeah, what happened last week? They gotta figure they're still recovering from that.
So they're going to come in and play well. I just think that the Redskins are built to play a certain way. It's not from behind, which we saw today. It's not once they get behind, it's tough for them. So Philly, a team that can score points when everything's going in the right direction. They got a good defense. I don't know where it's been, but they got a good defense. But against Washington, they're not that explosive offensively. They got to play a certain style, and today they got caught playing from behind.
Well, their style, where it got messed up, is from the front offensive line. That was their heart and soul of their offense.
And 2 weeks ago, the most disastrous offensive line
they all
injury.
got taken out, and they're playing with.
Well, I just think that the Redskins are built to play a certain way. It's not from behind, which we saw today. It's not once they get behind, it's tough for them. So Philly, a team that can score points when everything's going in the right direction. They got a good defense. I don't know where it's been, but they got a good defense. But against Washington, they're not that explosive offensively. They got to play a certain style, and today they got caught playing from behind.
Well, their style, where it got messed up, is from the front offensive line. That was their heart and soul of their offense.
And 2 weeks ago, the most disastrous offensive line
they all
injury.
Got taken out, and they're playing with Trent Williams with a broken hand, who's at 80%. And even that's still tough for him.
I'll take him at 80%.
That's still tough. That's still tough. And when they were doing well, Adrian Peterson was running for 90 yards a game. So if they can't run the ball, like you said, their offense isn't to throw a ball down the field. It's methodically get down the field, and they can't do that right now.
And Alex don't turn the ball over. He hasn't had 3 picks in how long? Colt had 3 picks today. Alex does not turn the ball over. Although we had people compare him to Alex, it's not the same. Well, it's not the same. Why are you looking at me like that?
Which people did that?
I'm going to put nobody on the blast. I'm going to wait till I go undefeated today.
Look, here's the good news for Washington.